Cannons and guns with random.
Good morning. Whew, I am tired this morning. So we're finally going to be getting started on the engine today. I've been putting this off for so long. Like, I looked through the engine code the other day and I just have huge sections of code that are just uncommented, and like I'm going to need to go through and comment them. So that's kind of why I've been putting it off. There's just a bunch of stuff I didn't want to do, but you know, that's how it goes. So I'm still going to put it off. I'm going to do something first. I'm going to finish up that shader that I was working on the other day that I never ended up finishing. But other than that, we're going to go straight into the engine work. So the engine is made in C, uses SDL, SDL2, and OpenGL 3.3. It's like all made from scratch. One sec. I feel like the mic might be messed up. Let me just test this. I don't know why, but OBS messed up the mic on my other PC the other day, so now I'm like paranoid it's happening here. Let me just test. No, it's good. Alright. Anyways, let's get started. So some of the stuff like I have to work on my engine is, first of all, I have to add new image support, loading bitmaps. Actually, this isn't anything I have to do. This is stuff I want to tweak. I want to add frustum culling to the rendering. And I don't have any bounding radiuses on the meshes yet. And then what else do I want to do? I need to do the physics. I already know how to do that though. It's basically just programming it. I need to do the 3D mesh animation. I need to convert the list sorting function to use merge sort instead of bubble sort. Yeah, I need to implement some cryptographic hash function like SHA-3, but that should be easy. I should just be able to copy like the C code of SHA-3. Like my engine has database classes and a data map, which is a hash map in a file classes, so you can do like database stuff in my engine. Like basically you could write backend server programs in my engine, but to do that you'll also need stuff like encryption, so that's why I want to include that. But yeah, it's pretty, there's like a lot of stuff. I'm just trying to think. There's some other stuff that I want to fix up in just like the visual editor of the engine. Let's see, I want to make the text rendering have better customization support. Right now I have a custom coloring function that lets you do like code highlighting, but what I figured out is that you should probably let it output custom letters, like custom shaded, scaled, and flipped letters as well, so that way you could make like custom functions that do text shadowing and stuff like that, or you could do crazy stuff that's like outlining and shadowing in the same function. So that, yeah, that's one thing. But really there's not that much stuff left. I want to do sprite sheet animations. That's also really easy. So like a lot of it's just stuff to get done. I also, one thing that's not needed but I think would be amazing to have is my own lossy compression. So that would be really good for audio, and also there's no easy way of loading video. So supporting my own lossy compression would also give an easy way to do video, and it would also give an easy way to record video, which would be really interesting if I made my own player. But that's like all stuff at the end of the engine once I have everything else set up, because it's not necessary. Anyways, talking about this stuff helps me plan it out for when I'm going to do it later. For now, we're going to finish up this shader that I started the other day, and I never got around to finishing it. This isn't it. This is the Monte Carlo shader I made the other day. I made the other day when I was on stream. I found some issues with it, and I fixed them. I made the diffuse sampling more correct by doing these separately, only doing the importance sampling for the diffuse. And then I also went and fixed the background sampling because I actually didn't have the importance sampling integrated into the background sampling as well. So now everything should be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to make the shader that I was starting to work on the other day before I found these errors and then got sidetracked. So I just started with this dirt plane, but I've been thinking about this and I'm going to do it completely different. So first of all, because I made these changes, I'm going to copy over all the code so it has the changes. Second. It's like a creaking noise coming from my wall. So now we're just starting with a copy of this template from yesterday. So what I'm going to do is like an abandoned city with a whole bunch of bent and fallen over buildings all resting against each other with like a fractal shape. So it's mostly going to be ray marked. I'm not going to use a lot of these ray tracing functions. So I'm going to copy all this stuff to begin, or I'm going to delete it all to begin and start from scratch. We're going to do a pretty big view distance of like 100. We'll do like 3 bounces to make up for that. I'm going to turn off light importance just to begin because I'm not going to have a light. All right, so delete these old custom distance functions. We're going to create a distance function called ruins. And then we're going to create our ray trace ruins function. So then this is just going to ray mark. The runes are going to be infinite, so it's just going to be like repeating forever. Is this again? Distance iterations. I'll do 32 iterations to begin. I'll probably want more, but just to start. And then return no ray. All right. So now, to begin this distance function, I'm just going to do a bunch of repeating boxes, or actually I'll just do a bunch of repeating spheres just to make sure everything's working good. So repetitions are done with mod, absolute value. We'll have it repeat by 10 spaces, subtract by half, which is 5, and then we feed in our repeating distance to the distance function. -2 will be the sphere radius. And we have no light sources right now, so I'm just going to add this cube map as the background. So we can just feed in the ray direction to this, do XYZ. And I also actually need to apply a gamma correct like this to convert from, this is already gamma corrected, we need to convert it back to linear space by doing POW 2.2. Here we go. So now we need to add our ray ruins to the ray scene function. So we'll do ray trace Ray ruins, and then our material code right here. I'm just going to do it flat diffuse to begin. Now I'm going to make the text a bit bigger. Oh my god, why is the text so much bigger? Did Shader Toy change this or something? This is giant now. Oh my god. Oh, I'm supposed to do RPRD here. Here we go. So now we've got our repeating spheres. You know what? I don't really like this R2 point sampling. Like, the noise honestly looks better in my opinion. But man, you know what? It definitely gives better, smoother convergence. Oh my god. It's like noticeably better. It's really interesting. I do need to turn up the move speed though, so you can move around at a more decent rate. But yeah, the R2 sampling makes these really flash. Close up of that though, you see we got spheres. All right. So now what I'm gonna do this is really interesting how it looks on this first frame. Like, I actually almost think the R2 point sampling looks wrong. It's hard to tell though. It is very hard to tell. Alright, so our ruins aren't going to be repeating spheres though, they're going to be repeating buildings or squares, so we're going to do length max absolute value minus however big we want the buildings to be. I'm going to make them pretty tall, 20 units big, 3 units width and length. Oh, and this is supposed to be max 0. So there we go. Now I definitely need to turn up the iterations on this. Turn it up to like 128. And that might be too much, maybe 64. Alright, so this is really interesting too. I wonder how much putting them close together will lower the lighting. I should really look at making something that stops the camera from colliding with the scene. Because, like, I don't know if you see, but, like, camera can just go into the ground like that. That's really hard to do because I have the camera movement in a separate function that's away from all the scene code here. Wow. There's still a ton of light getting in here. That's really interesting. I almost feel like it should be darker than this, but I don't know. I wonder. Oh yeah, so the ray tracing would probably be a lot better if it increased the epsilon as it went. Otherwise, it eventually doesn't hit anything. But the problem is if you increase the epsilon as it goes, it messes up the precision of everything. Alright, to turn these into buildings, I need to subtract from them. I need to make the middle hollow, and then I need to add holes in them for windows. So I think I can subtract from this, but I will need to do a signed box function. So I can keep doing this unsigned box function here. I'm going to reduce the size. Then to subtract, I do max negative. Just to test this, I'm going to do a sphere to begin. Yeah, there we go. So this is what the sphere subtracted. Now I want to subtract another cube. I'm just thinking though, I could actually, instead of doing this separately, do the signed box distance function and then make it hollow. I think I'm going to do that. So what I'm going to do is just do signed box distance, which is absolute value. If I do, I think I do the subtraction here. I'm going to put on some music. Okay, so this distance is I remember what the last part is. It's like length max 0 that and then plus you know what, I'm just gonna go to the go to this. This is like the Bible for distance functions. So where is it? Signed box, SD box. So it's length max D0 plus min. Oh, I was very close. Alright, now to make these hollow, all I have to do is do absolute value, because it's sign distance and now it goes into the negative in the middle. Doing abs will flip it out in the middle. That'll make it completely flat. Then if I do 0.1, it'll have a surface size of 0.1. Or a surface radius. So now what I can do is I can subtract repeating blocks from it. So then if I go and replace, actually, how do I want to do this? Maybe I'll try doing subtracting spheres to begin. So subtraction is with max. We do a negative sign distance function, so I'm going to do spheres because they're simple. Then repeating, the space is mod absolute value. We're going to repeat it. We'll repeat it every 2 units to begin. Then we want the spheres to have a radius of 0.5. And then we close our max. So that should subtract a bunch of spheres from these hollow boxes, putting holes in them. There we go. Let me try this with some different textures. You know what? Oh my god. If I added fog here, this would look insane for volumetrics. Like, this would look so good if it had volumetric fog. So I'm probably going to add a sunlight and volumetric fog, I think. The lighting in this is looking very good though. Look at that subtle ambient occlusion up there. Alright, so I'm going to add a very sharp background sunlight. And then I'm going to add some volumetric fog. And then hopefully we're going to get a crazy effect of like a whole bunch of God rays going in here. You'll be able to like look up and see like a bunch of God rays going through here. How's the audio volume? Oh, it's looking good. Alright. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to add the sharp sunlight. I'm not going to do the background there. I'm also determined to make this stuff all procedural, not use any of the provided shader toy textures, so I can just run all this stuff standalone. So to do our background sunlight, how do I want to do this? I could just do a dot product. with a very high specular term. Sun directional 1 to begin, max 0, and then also our POW. How we make it sharper. Three normalized dot. There we go. Alright, so that's not sharp at all. If we increase the exponent of this POW, yeah, it gets way sharper. Alright, that's what we're looking for. Now it's pretty dark. So what I'm going to do, you can actually kind of see the shadow coming in back there. Now I'm going to add the light importance sampling now that we know where the light is. Yeah, so we can either do light position or light direction. This is something that I actually forgot to add. Actually, you know what? I can probably just do this with position. If I just set this to like 1E8. Let's see how this works. Oh yeah. There we go. Now there's like a sharp shadow. There's shadow here though. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it going through here. Awesome. So now we got important sampling with shadows. Now we're going to add fog. Maybe increase the importance sampling a little bit too. Can make it a bit brighter. Oh man, so all right, here's the issue with the importance sampling is I just realized another flaw with my path tracing system. So the importance sampling, what it basically does is when it's path tracing and sending rays randomly around, it knows that this sunlight here is super bright and small and much more important than all the other stuff. So it sends a light ray in the direction right here. For diffuse surfaces where it would normally send it randomly around, it sends a light ray towards the sunlight. This makes it way more efficient. The issue is if it doesn't hit the sunlight, if it instead hits a wall or something like this, it can result in some really weird patterns where it basically oversamples this wall or something instead of the sun. So you basically need to check if this important sampled ray is actually hitting the light that you want it to hit. So this is the really difficult part. Let me check my code here. If specular equals light color. Okay, so this is actually pretty similar. You know what? This actually works because this won't add. It might oversample a light, but that's not a huge deal. Not a huge deal. Okay, so instead what we're going to do, we're still going to increase this light intensity all the way, just because it's going to be all about this light up here. So maybe we'll actually increase the light importance sampling even more. Make it super bright like that, because the lighting here isn't even going to be about the bounces or anything. Although this does look really good already. Oh my god. It's going to be about, I'm going to add volumetric fog here. So this is the other thing. I don't know if I'm going to use this volume dither. Another method I could just do for the volumetric fog is just literally sample random planes in front of the camera here. So like P distance equals float iframe need to do some semi-random number. I guess I'll just do pi. Plane distance, then however far we want it away to sample. And the other thing is we can actually make it sample closer areas more by applying like a power curve like this. And that would actually be good because you want the volumetrics to be higher sampled and higher detailed closer like that. So I'm going to do the volumetrics up to like 50 units away, half the view distance, actually maybe 30. So then basically what it's going to do is it's just going to set the first view distance here. It's going to initialize the view distance or the max view distance to this plane distance for the lighting. And I'm going to need to initialize the material to the fog material. Let me comment this to fog. Ruins blocks with holes in them. It's not really ruins, but whatever. Okay, so I'm going to set the diffuse to 1. So it gets as much light as possible. I'm going to set it to basically the same material as this. And then I'm going to set the normal to the ray direction. And I might randomize this after. I don't know how this is going to work. Never actually tried it like this before. Okay, it's completely dark, so maybe gotta try this differently. Plane distance, opacity equals 1. Maybe that's my issue, is the opacity equals 1. Oh, I need to make this past the view distance. That was stupid of me. Alright, so now it's still not collecting light. You can see it flickering on and off there is when it's sampling this. So I believe the issue is that the normal is flipped around. Right now it's just giving like a darkened fog effect. You know what, I'm going to edit it as well so that the camera starts in one of these so that I can just keep refreshing it. Alright, now I just need to point it upwards. Wait. Oh my god, those are actual shadows. Alright, I need to make the light way sharper. So those shadows shouldn't be there. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this with dot. Or by doing power dot. Maybe I should just do length RD minus so that's going to be backwards. Yeah, that's going to be dark in the middle. That gives a weird effect. That almost looks like negative lighting. Alright. So I'm going to want to do max 0, 1 point minus. And then I want to scale it by how small I want the sun to be. That's good. Then I'm going to scale that up and make that bright. Maybe not that bright. Actually, I guess the sun can make it through down there. Anyways, now I just need to point the camera up. It's a bit too up. There we go. That looks about good. So now, let me just try rotating the yaw a little bit. Probably good. Alright, so making this volumetric work, I think I might have to randomize the normal here. Or I can try setting the opacity to 0, or opacity. Basically the test here should be as if the sky and everything starts lighting up with white because it's collecting the sunlight. But instead it's just flickering black like you can see here, on and off. I mean, it looks really good. The important sampling is definitely working. It's just not this volumetric. Actually, I wouldn't even call this a volumetric. It's more like progressive fog planes. Alright, I'll try randomizing normal. That should work. Oh yeah, and I need to normalize this random vector. XYZ times 2 minus 1. There we go. No, it's still not. Maybe I'm missing something. So it only lights up if it hits the background. So when it triggers the fog here, and it reflects randomly, it still doesn't make sense. Normal equals this. Oh, so because it's per frame and it's not random, it needs to be changed at least a bit by the position. Otherwise, when it reflects off the fog, it just hits the fog again. Yeah, that was kind of stupid. I should have realized that. I'm gonna try using the hash here. Just to offset it a little bit. Oh god. Alright, so that actually is semi-correct. This part right here, though, where it doesn't send it towards the sun because the direction is different. I think I can fix that by seeding it randomly. So I'm going to try doing rd plus fog.xyz minus 0.5. So it should offset it a little bit. That does look like good fog though. Oh no, that didn't really offset it. Still a noticeable line. I did it completely randomly. Oh yeah, randomly works. Oh my god, look, you can see the god rays. Absolutely incredible. So I need to turn the yaw around a little bit in a different direction. I still need to increase the intensity a little bit. I also still want to try to get it pointing. If I can get the fog pointing more in the one direction, that would be wicked. So I don't know. Let's see how these different ways work. How does opacity 0 work? That does not seem to work well. Just goes straight. So it definitely works better with a opacity of 1. Alright, I still want to see if I can get this. It's at least a little bit biased. Oh my god. Nope, no matter what I do. Let's get that ring if it's got too much bias because it doesn't go towards the sun. What if I normalized this before adding it? So basically what I want is it to be brighter when you're facing towards the sun and darker when you're facing back there, which is what happens with this ring here, but I want it to be smooth. So I don't know if I'm going to have to dither it on and off, I think. Let me think about what's happening. Ray direction plus the fog here. The negative. Yeah, it flips around. So what's happening is when it's up here, it has a chance, much more of a chance of going towards the sun. So what I would have to do is flicker this on and off, I think, with fog.w. Maybe. Huh, I thought that dithering on and off would work, but I guess not. Maybe I gotta do. Nah, it's too much of a noticeable line, damn. Maybe if I do specular. Specular, metallic equals 0.5, roughness equals 0. Oh my god, that's super cool. This is actually very similar to what I'm looking for. You know, I think the diffuse actually looks better for God Rays. Yeah, like this has issues. Keeps self-intersecting. Oh my god, this is rendering at 50 FPS. I guess because it's all of the iterations. I guess I can actually do limited here. I could do culling. What would be a better way to do culling here? So this checks if the ray has gone inside, outside, and past. What I really need is checking if the ray is going the other direction. How would I do that? I guess I can check if the distance is getting consistently farther away. Or I could add some basic ray plane culling to this, which would probably be even better. Hmm. Yeah, so I think here what I should actually do is check if the distance is getting farther away. Let me test this on this other path trace thing, because this will show me if any errors are showing up. Basically, if I change this function and it ends up having a problem and I don't realize it, that's bad. But if I change it here, one of these will disappear if it goes wrong. And that's a very good way of checking. Okay, so right now, I don't know what I was thinking doing this. This is basically a solution that only works right here when they're set objects and you've got the distance going within a certain boundary. What I should be doing is measuring how much the distance is changing. And create this variable dChange. So let me actually think about this, because what might happen is if you're perpendicular to the object and it's going in and out of the object, it might think you're going farther away when you're just going perpendicular to it. That is the difficult part. So for example, in this shader here, the distance would go farther away when the ray jumps over this gap right here. Slowly get farther away. So even if it's traveling perpendicular, and it could hit another one of these going up, it might think right here that it's getting farther away. I guess I need to combine that with a check of max distance. Yeah, okay. So actually, I'm going to change this here, because this is where it'll really show up. It'll optimize it, go from 50 FPS to like 60. So I don't know if I should store a smooth last distance or what. The first step is always going to go down. Okay, so if distance minus last distance is, or if distance is bigger than max distance and distance minus last distance, or if, I guess I need to set some epsilon here of how large it increases. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do if distance bigger than last distance, which means it's getting bigger. Then what do I do here? Do I just back out? Return no? Yeah, I do return no. So then I'm just going to do return no. Alright, so now I'm going to convert this ray ruins function to use that limited tracing. And you know what, I'm going to remove all these ray box and plane functions. Things that aren't needed for this shader. And then I'm going to give a link to the template here. Stay on page. What am I doing? Okay, so raymark limited. And then here, I need to provide a max distance. Setting a max distance of 10. How much does that optimize it? Oh yeah, so just that brings it up to 10 FPS. And there's no errors here. So what should happen is there's not even any errors right here. Oh yeah, there are. You can see right there. So that's probably the first step of errors. I gotta remember that this is in length and not in absolute units. So I'm thinking actually like 2 might be good. Oh yeah, so you can still see at the far away points there, there's still a bit of distortion, but it gives huge optimization. So I'm going to copy that code over the Monte Carlo path tracing over here. Now I just need to make sure that this matches up. Alright, mark limited 1. Oh yeah, that's good. Alright. Alright, I'm going to put a link to there here. Alright, now that we know everything's way faster, we actually have our fog working. Oh god. So this is the one thing I didn't take into account, is the inside of the mesh starts becoming farther away with each of these holes, and the distance inside this is bigger than 2, it's 4. So there we go. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to try to increase the God rays a whole bunch. And we're going to try and find the best place to look at God rays in this whole map. So I think you should be able to see some God rays going out down here. I might be wrong though. Yeah, so too much light bounces around. Alright, I still think, yeah, this is probably the best place. Alright, so to get this better, I need to increase the fog as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to scale this down. It's only 10% of the time there's no fog. It means much less light gets in, so I'll need to make the light brighter to compensate. Not sure if that makes the path better or worse. Actually, I think that makes it worse. Yeah, so importance sampling is definitely the thing. So let me see how that looks without our 2-point sampling. So now I'm curious, is this dark wall back here caused by the importance sampling? It is caused by the importance sampling. Oh no. So this is an example of how the importance sampling can mess up the bias. If you set the importance sampling too high, then, oh man, I'm not sure what's happening here. I think this is sampling the light way too much. And then this isn't sampling the light because it's faced the other direction. So I think my only solution there is to like increase the number of bounces or something like that. Increasing the number of bounces should reduce the effect of this. I don't know. No, it's not. Okay, so I still have some stuff to fix with this. I wonder if Discord's back up. Discord was down from you this morning. So what I think I need to do is I think I need to sample the light oh man, somehow I need to get it so that it doesn't I don't know why it actually should be backing. Oh, it's multiplying the color. I know what it is. It's multiplying the color when it does the bounce. So it's incorrect. This is supposed to be times diffuse.xyz. Supposed to be times specular. Oh no, so that still didn't eliminate this. Okay, let me think about this. Let me walk through this. So if bigger than view distance, it's not the issue. It's going to hit something there. First time it hits, it's not going to have importance sampling on. That's going to do the diffuse shading here, and because of the importance sampling being like 90% chance and the direction being correct right here, it sends this out towards the sun, which in every situation except for right here is not a hit. Alright, so this sets the importance to 2. It saves the last position and direction. And what what the next ray direction should be. Then it sets the ray direction to the direction to the light. Alright, so that's all documented. Then it goes back up here, goes and hits something else, and it's not going to hit the background here because it's inside this tube. So after it goes off this wall, it's probably going to hit one of these walls or something. Then that's going to go, okay, that's more diffuse, so is it important? This is going to actually match to true because it's going to be the same normalized light value, but then this is going to add nothing because the emission is 0. Then it's going to go back to the last position and direction, set the importance to false. Oh my god, it's breaking out instead of continuing. Look, I have a continue up here, but I had a break down here. Rubber duck debugging. There we go. Now it works perfect. That's rubber duck debugging for you. Alright, so now with the 15 bounces, it's way too bright. So we're actually going to do a small number of 2 or 3 bounces. Just enough so that we can see these God rays. I still want to find a good angle for the God rays. Got really good. It's all about the camera position. So right now it's actually standing in a God ray. Or the camera is in a God ray. Interesting, this angle actually doesn't give that many good God rays. I wonder, maybe I should apply this this distortion and make the fog appear closer. See if that distorts anything. No, it looks alright. Actually looks so good with these God rays coming in. Oh my god. Alright, so I'm not sure. This might be what I choose. I might have to actually turn the importance down, because I noticed too high importance actually makes it not reach the light. I feel like I can still improve this, make it easier to explore around. Maybe decreasing the move speed a little bit. I need to get a good camera angle. What's a good camera angle in this? That looks like a smiley face. That actually looks like a smiley face. Oh my god. What if I just made this the camera angle? That would be good. Maybe if I made the holes random or bigger, so the God rays were a lot more pronounced. Or maybe an angle like this where the God rays go in like right by your face. Oh, and I'm not multiplying the light intensity up here either. That's another part I need to change. It's good I'm doing this. I'm finding out some bugs with the engine. Not the engine, but the path tracer. Man, I need to start getting better sleep at night. Like, that's seriously my number one issue in programming, is that I'm tired. So right here, if it's important, if important, then I want it to apply the light intensity, times light intensity. Otherwise, we can just add the background. That. I don't know if I should make this the scene. I also feel like the performance actually just went down. I don't know what's happening either. The light intensity isn't going into effect. If important, times light intensity. Is it happening? I can't really tell. No, it's definitely not timesing by 100. What the heck? If def, important sampling, ray background, important. If the color's equal, times light intensity. What? I am genuinely confused. I am multiplying by the light intensity here. Important sampling is defined. Try commenting this out. Maybe it's doing the exact same thing and I'm just not realizing it. Yeah, it looks like it's exactly the same without this, so did I spell this wrong? If def light importance. Oh my god. Yep, I have light importance or importance sampling instead of light importance. Oops. There we go. Now that should make the God rays way brighter. Oh god, it's insanely bright up here. See what it's like down below. It's very foggy down here. Alright, path traced God rays test. I don't think I'm actually going to release this shader because it's basically just all the same stuff from this. I'm going to copy over the changes I made right here. First of all, continue instead of break. Times light intensity. Oh, I'm just going to copy this actually. There we go. So we made some good changes to the path tracer. I need to stop working on this though. This is like, I could work on this forever. I'm happy with this though. These God rays look good. So, I copied over the engine this morning. I haven't compiled it yet. Here it is. I gotta change the default app to gedit. There we go. Change to gedit. The other thing is I have all the libraries here that I need to set up with Visual Studio. So that's what I'm going to be doing next, is setting all this up to compile with Visual Studio. I am using a different version as well. So that'll probably make it a lot different to compile. But then after that, I'm going to be working on some of these code examples. I'm going to comment some of this code here, some of these files. I'm probably going to do the merge sort for the list today. And yeah. So I guess to test out, I need something to test this compiling and set up the dependencies. I'm probably going to do shader view, I think, is what I'll try to compile, because that's just like OpenGL and libpng. But Paddle Tennis 2D, it's like the equivalent of Pong. I'm going to make a little Pong clone as an example project, and this has all the dependencies set up, or maybe it's actually in examples here. Anyways, lib here has all of the libraries and licenses, so like lib here is what you would distribute with your game. But yeah, then later on we might work on this neural net. I got a lot of classes here. Got a lot of classes here. So I actually can't remember how I did sorting in the list right here. So I'm going to go and look, sort list. Oh my god, this is a complicated sorting function. So list sort index function outputs an index for each value. Then it does a bubble sort based off that. Store final order in D. So I think what I'm doing here too, I remember I was using the sorting for sorting components. At least I thought I was. Maybe it's in one of these add-ons here. No, it's not. I don't know. I don't know where I was doing the sorting, but I was sorting it by name, like ABC. Add component. It's somewhere where I add components. These are just GUI functions. Like, this is the whole thing I was talking about too. All of this editor code is uncommented, because I basically just tried to code it as quick as possible. Alright, so I need to look for add component. Alright, on editor, add component, select. Alright, so this is where I open up the sorted list. Oh, maybe it's not. This is where I actually add it. Selection pop-up, add component. Oh, so I pass in an array of the component names. Selection pop-up. I'm pretty sure I have sorting here. Selection callback search. Oh no, it's search, not sort. I'm an idiot. Really messed those up. Anyways, what we'll probably be doing I'm not sure how I want to do this. I like this index function method instead of comparison function method because it's actually a lot faster. You just need to call the index function once for each object. But on the other hand, it basically makes it so that you could do it equal. So the main thing I'm actually going to test is how much faster is more merge sorting than bubble sorting. I think it's a good amount faster, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go and get lunch. This will be like 10 minutes. One sec, I'm just going to post the code. This shader I was working on for like the past 2 hours. If anyone wants to play with it, I'll post it in chat. It's got all the code. Actually, I also need to check if Discord is back up. Oh my god, I got someone mentioning me on Discord. Mentions. Jesus Christ. So I sent someone a link to a Getting Started with C book. It's like a book by O'Reilly on getting started with C, and I sent this guy a link to a PDF with the book for free. The guy reads the first page of it and says, "The guide you sent wasn't very good. It only covered the basics of any programming language." I don't even think the guy even read what I sent him. Jesus Christ. Some people, man. I gotta be honest with you, the people in my Discord are awesome. I'm also in this other Discord, and people are constantly trying to sell stuff on the Discord. Like, holy shit. Alright, well, I guess Discord's back up. That's cool. Alright. I'm gonna go and get lunch. I don't know if I want to put the screen on. Be right back. Maybe I will. I haven't done this for a while. Alright. I'm gonna go get lunch. Be back in like 10, maybe actually 20 minutes. I'm gonna set it higher. Just in case. And then we work on quick sorting in the engine. And possibly loading in more assets, like bitmap images, because right now it only supports PNG. Anyways, be right back. All right. Oh man, I had pizza for lunch. That was amazing. Okay. All right, so I already know. I'm already very much positive that merge sort is faster than bubble sort, but I just want to get like, I'm gonna actually benchmark it. So let's do that. So first things first, I'm gonna get the code compiling. So this is gonna be interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the list example here. Sort test. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this. Or I don't know what Visual Studio version this is for, but I think it's a different version. So I'm going to see if this can still be opened in Visual Studio. I don't know, we'll see. So this is going to be a test. See if it opens. Hopefully it's the same version and it can just open. It should be able to, I think. There it goes. It looks like it imported perfectly. Awesome. Updates to Visual Studio? No. I don't want no updates. And we want to open this with gedit. There we go. Okay, so let's see if this simple string test compiles still. So build, release, 64-bit. I guess there's no build project now. I guess it's just build solution. Used to have build project. I don't know if that's test. Cannot include source file, std bool. Build tools for V120 could not be found. Build using V120 build tools. Either click the project menu. Let's do some Googling. What are the V120 build tools? Oh, so I think I can just change the project tool set. std bool, no such file or directory. Are you kidding me? Visual Studio will never support it. Weird, this compiled on 2013. Check if std bool present. This is so weird though how STD Bool compiled before. Now it doesn't. Maybe I'll just install Visual Studio 2013. Oh, redefinition error. Download STD Bool. So can I just create... Screw it. I'm just going to download Visual Studio 2013 just in case anything's different. Unless there has to be a quick solution for STD Bool. Check if include file exists. Visual Studio 2012 STD Bool fix. Am I gonna go through and replace STD Bool with my own Bool? If I do that, which one of my files use STD Bool? A lot of them. Alright, I guess we're gonna write our own Boolean file. C Bool type. Yeah, we include std bool in a lot of places. MSVC, check if include header. So I think what I'm just gonna have to do is create a file here, std bool. Not define, std bool. Not define bool. Then define bool as int 8t, or actually unsigned char. If not, define true. Define true as 1. If not, define false. Define false as 0. Alright. So now hopefully, including that in our project, is there a way to do like a global include in MSVC, like a library? Global include library. Yeah, individual to projects. All right. Go to the include directories. Add this, which gives me std bool. Build. Cannot open include file std bool. No such file or directory. Should have been included. It's in the projects folder, stdbool.h. Wait, where did all the include? Oh my god, that was for debug. You know, I really don't like Visual Studio. I'm just saying, I would be on Linux right now with GCC if it was up to me. But streaming does not work that well. Like that. Alright, so we're going to include directory of std bool. You know, I'm going to make a custom directory for it just to make it organized. We'll include our std bool like that. So now that should be able to find std bool. Alright, now it's just got tons of errors. Man, I gotta be honest, what the hell, Visual Studio? illegal use syntax error. What the hell? Where are these errors even coming from? This is perfectly fine code. What? Man, Visual Studio, some issues. I feel like I should have just made this project from scratch. Like created a fresh project instead of copying it from a different version. Compile as C code. Let me see if it works compiling as C++ code. Because apparently this supports a different version of C than 2013. Cannot convert, no. Yeah, so something's compiling completely differently in this version. I have warnings all turned off. I have all the checks off. Oh man, what the hell? Solution, build. Yeah, I don't know if stdint isn't a thing in this or something or what, but it hasn't shipped. stdint. Oh my god, I hate Visual Studio. Are you kidding me? So let me try something. Let me comment out all this code. Let me just try writing a small program from scratch. uint32. Let me see if this works. Include stdint.h. I want to know what's happening differently about this compiler. I may just need to download 2013. Does this build? I need stdio. So that compiles. Testing int types 20. So what is the issue over there then? Oh, why is this set to constant? Value type const void cannot be used. What the hell? So this has completely different value type. I think it's just giving warnings for something that I turned off before, actually. I believe that I turned off the type checking here, but maybe it didn't carry over here. No, everything seems good. Man, I hate Visual Studio. If you compare it to Linux, where you get started on Linux and GCC is right there in the console ready to compile, it's so much easier. What I don't understand is why all the errors are right here in list and there's no errors in system or anything. It's like it's almost completely different parsing that just doesn't work or something. I don't understand it. How is this an error? Can't convert void to uint 8t. On old Visual Studio, I had this type checking turned off so you could just convert pointers between each other without any warnings or needing to do casts, which is so much easier. VC Visual Studio, turn off pointer type warning. What annoys the hell out of me is it doesn't even give me the proper error code here. Like right here, the error codes aren't equal. It's fucking ridiculous. How the hell is this compiler actually worse? A legal use of this type of expression. Unsigned int uint32. Uint32 equals bsize. How the hell is this an illegal use? This compiler is fucking broken. This compiler is actually broken. Holy shit. What the hell? It's actually broken. What? Disable optimization. Nope, still. A legal use of this. What? Alright, I guess I'm downloading Visual Studio 2013. Because I don't know what the hell is happening here. That's actually ridiculous. How does Microsoft fuck up a C compiler? Can I compile std2 with mingw? Oh man. Yeah, so the libraries work completely differently. Right. Download Visual Studio 2013. Hold on while I sign into my Microsoft account. Fuck Microsoft, man. Alright, now we gotta pick from one of the 15 different, 20 actually, different downloads of Visual Studio. Which one do we want? Visual Studio Express for Windows with Update 2, Visual Studio Express 2013. I believe we want this. The hell, it was selected as DVD and then it went back to exe. Where the... What? Microsoft's website is scuffed. For Windows Desktop. DVD download. Oh man. While we're waiting for this, let's see if we can get this to compile. Actually, let me just see how to add. Oh man, I've already designed the engine for Microsoft Visual C++ or Visual Studio, so it's like onto something else now is ridiculous. Testing. Alright, now let's compile it. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the code from here. No such file or directory. Okay, I think it's the way this is formatted. Testing, release. Stored output here or here. I hate, oh man. There's so many things about Visual Studio that are just so convoluted. It bugs the hell out of me. I should really look at setting up Linux streaming. You really need to look up doing Linux streaming. Ah man. Either way though, I'm going to need to build this on Windows, so this should fix the link. Open include file, stdbool. We created a fix for that as well by including our fix. std bool right there. Alright, and now there's a whole bunch of errors that don't make any sense. Like, what is this? Illegal use of this type as an expression. I'm setting a uint 32 to 1. How is this an illegal use? What is happening? Jesus Christ. I'm actually so confused right now. And Visual Studio has so many hotkeys and stuff. Oh, it's ridiculous. I can't use my stream keys without triggering the Visual Studio hotkeys. Absolutely ridiculous. And why are there no line numbers? Why does Visual Studio not have line numbers on by default? What the heck is this? There's no line numbers on by default. Visual Studio enable line numbers. For fuck's sake, what are they doing here? Options. Turn on line numbers. Oh my god. Well, this is going very well to begin. Hold on a second. Gonna get some help on Discord. Woo, Visual Studio 2013 is done downloading though. So I gotta close the current Visual Studio. Okay. So let me post about this first. I actually think that it's Visual Studio that's messed up. Like, I'm looking at the Uint 32 code right here where it's doing type def. Uint 32 is unsigned int. This is the proper type definition. Uint 32t. So when I'm running this code here, it should basically be doing unsigned int b size. Just like that. Does that give the same error? Error, missing before type. Oh my god. I'm so confused. What is Visual Studio doing here? Missing before type. It's doing 32 up here that's still messed up. So weird. I'm like, I actually don't know what's happening right now. Alright, well I guess I'm just gonna install Visual Studio 2013. Because that'll work better, right? At least this Nier Automata music is here to like keep me calm. Oh my god. This is some good music. Alright, so I've closed Visual Studio 2012. Let's install 2013. Install it right here. Yeah, sure. No, I don't want to join the improvement program. Install. Let's go. Creating a system. Oh no, this installation takes so long. This installation takes so long. Did I mention that Windows sucks? And Microsoft is getting way worse as a company? Holy crap. Might have to go back to some shader programming for a bit. Because I'm not going to sit here and wait for this. Maybe we'll turn this God Rays shader into something that's actually good. Because these God Rays just aren't good enough. Need something else. I actually don't think this plane sampling for the God Rays is that good. I think it's kind of uneven. Like you can see here, it's not sampling any of the rays. So instead doing pi. Try doing 3, 2, 1 like that. I think that's actually worse. So basically what I want to happen is like even right here, I want these God rays to come shining in. Wow, is a God ray actually coming in from like right here? What is this tiny... Oh my god, there's a tiny hole all the way through. So maybe I gotta stop these holes a bit above to make it easier to see. That would probably be good. Hold on, I'm just gonna check back on Discord. I actually think Visual Studio 2012 is just borked. Do I have to do type def twice? CY type def. Maybe I need to add type def before. Studio 20 C99. Yeah, so Microsoft Visual Studio isn't strictly compliant. 2013 gets a lot better apparently. So I think, yeah, I think I know what it is. Alright, I should have realized when STD Bool was wrong that there was something seriously different about this, but yeah, that's why I said this first day was going to be taking it easy and just tweaking stuff. So we almost got 2013 installed. Then I guess I'll install 2012 or uninstall 2012 because I won't need it anymore. Anyways, let's see if I can't improve. Can't improve this path trace shader. So what I want to do is I want to limit these holes to the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them bigger and only repeat on the X and Z. So it's going to take chunks out, I think. Or actually, I think I'll make them bigger. Okay, so if I want to limit them, I do max p.y as low as I want them to go. So now there's no holes. I don't know if max is wrong there or something. Yeah, it's almost done downloading. Yes, it's done. I just gotta restart. Oh no, I need to restart. This was kind of a scuffed sea coding stream. I'm probably just gonna finish this shader and end the stream because I feel like I need to start fresh. So let's finish this up. How am I gonna clamp this? Max p.y does intersection, right? As far as I'm aware, at least, yeah, so there's the holes. Ah, so that's limiting them in the wrong direction. What I'm trying to do is getting these holes to stop like right there, so they just let a little bit of light in. Hey, just like that. Awesome. So now you can actually see the shadows coming in. That's also cool. So you can see the God rays coming in, hitting the shadows. Alright, so now I'm going to test out the God rays more. If I point the camera straight up there, it should be illuminating the God rays here. But like we saw there was the big God ray coming in here and hitting right there. So we should be seeing that, but we're not. So there's something wrong with our fog volume sampling. That's this part right here where it's doing fog.w plus iframe. So we can either, I think, lower iframe so I wonder if it's this distance curve here that I did that was stopping it. I'm not really sure. Because I really can't see any God rays right here. This is weird, there should be God rays right here. Let me just make sure the light is coming in right here, right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, so there's the God rays. It's sampling the same spots over. There we go, that's better. So there's the God rays coming in along there. Yeah, I definitely think it needs that distortion nearer to the camera like this. Makes it look way better. So what is it doing here though, where when you go out of the view, the rays, you can't really see them anymore? No, there we go, that's working. Oh yeah, you can see the God rays there. That's actually really good. Hell yeah. I'm gonna turn the camera around a bit. I'm gonna point it like right there, I think. Oh, so when you're facing the opposite direction of the God rays, it doesn't really illuminate them that much. At least it appears like. I don't know, it's doing random values here. And maybe it was just my random generation code here. That looks good. Huh, but once again I can't see the God rays right here. Maybe I have to add this same distortion. Just did fog.w here and then added. The other thing did work better because it was more uniform. Is there a way to make this better? Maybe this needs to be like POW 10. Oh no, because that makes it even closer. Okay. Yeah, so that looks a lot more even. I don't know if I like it as much though. It's still super bright out here. Yeah, it is. That's my one issue with this, is it makes everything insanely bright just to get the God rays. Alright, so I think to optimize this as well, yeah, I'm not really happy with this. This isn't an amazing one. It's a good test for God rays though. Man, I hate that Visual Studio requires a restart. Alright, so we did like no C programming. So that wasn't very good. But you know what? Sometimes stuff happens. I don't know if I'm gonna stream later. I might start up the stream in like an hour after restarting. But it's kind of demotivating to have to restart and end everything just to get the stream. Oh man. Why does OBS keep getting the wrong window? But anyways, this will be the end of the stream. I promise I'll be doing engine development tomorrow. I promise. Promise. Well, I kind of did engine development today, but my development was realizing that Visual Studio 2012 only has C89 features, not C99. And that I built all my stuff with C99 features, so yeah. Man, I really thought Visual Studio 2012 would have had C99 features. Like, it's only 1 year behind C99, but what do you know, Microsoft, man, so yeah. Alright, so next stream, engine development, C. Gonna be testing the sorting, so much stuff. There's so much stuff to do. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll be back again sometime soon. Not sure when. Probably at least by tonight. Yeah, I'm probably going to play Borderlands tonight too, if anyone's interested in that. Thanks for watching. See you later. Have a good day.
Carré rouge